Welcome to our Butterfly's Renunciation, Discourses from Así hablaba Quetzalcoatl, Thus spoke Quetzalcoatl, on words of wisdom. Así hablaba Quetzalcoatl, Thus spoke Quetzalcoatl, is a beautiful tale that offers upliftment to all truth seekers yearning for spiritual understanding. In this book, we follow the travels of the legendary Aztec god Quetzalcoatl, who is the story's enlightened master. In his offering of discourses to earnest seekers, we see that Quetzalcoatl highlights the importance of the inward journey, transcending both time and space. This journey connects us with the inner heavenly light and music. Thus the words from Así hablaba Quetzalcoatl illuminate one's spiritual endeavors with profound truth. We are now happy to share with you an excerpt from this profound text, showing us how to find true comfort in life with the fundamentals of love, compassion, faith, and humility. The Path. It was the month of Temihitantli, and clouds covered the sky. Quetzalcoatl traveled to visit the city of Cholula, which bloomed like a magnolia, where he had brothers who loved him and whose hearts were anxious for his word. This is the way he spoke to the people who had gathered to listen to him, among whom were also the priests of the temples. Brothers of Cholula, I do not bring beliefs nor doctrines to you, because what is the purpose of adding more doctrines and dogmas where others already exist? Is it not that we only change the meaning of words, make them longer or make them deeper? When you search, do it in yourselves, and when you want to find, go to others. But don't go to others without knowing yourselves. When you go to others, give them your achievements and findings as a gift, and do not ask for their support, not even for their joy in return, because when you do this, you walk the path, which is the path traced by the light. Let silence be your word, and the path of your feet. Neither walk with a borrower's mouth, nor with other people's feet. Nonetheless, offer your mouth and feet to whomever needs them at whatever moment. Before you speak of your fellow's path and say aloud what your heart feels, take a look at yourselves and put yourselves in his place. Then you will realize that you will be doing the same thing that he does. Keep silent and do not criticize him. Help him to get up from his stumbles and learn from them in order not to stumble yourselves on the same stone later on. When you do something, let your heart throb on it. When you give something, let your vibrations melt and fly on it, because your Father is watching over you, and tears of joy will flow to his divine eyes. Your Father feels you and is within you at this moment. Don't let eyes, ears, or thoughts deceive you, thoughts which cross your mind like clouds being swung by the winds of circumstance. Do not stop being yourselves and discover within you those mountains that undulate in the sky, those valleys that get sleepy with the sun, those rivers that seek for themselves at every moment, those trees that are your breath, and those little birds that are your hope and joy. I come from inside of you, and my voice is the voice of life, and my steps are all men's steps seeking for man. Awaken me in you, because I am in your inner selves. Even though the senses make you believe that I am still outside, we should only talk about what we have known. Otherwise, it will be better to keep silent. Be careful not to criticize. Be careful not to judge. The measurement of advancement in the way will be: how much peace have we shared? How much love have we given? Be sincere. Be yourself. New Dimensions. That afternoon was like the eagle's flight. One could even hear the steps of silence climbing up the path which leads to the temple. and the sun brother resembled a ripe fruit falling down slowly from the branches of the sky towards the arms of the mountains. Quetzalcoatl sat down with his brothers, looking at the curls made by the water while playing among the stones. And one of them asked him, "Why don't you speak to us about the mystery of death?" And he kept silent for a moment, as if he were recalling, and then he said, "There once was a caterpillar of those called temmitli, strolling on the rough surface of an ahuehuetless tree trunk. A butterfly that was fluttering and playing through the air saw it, and standing before it said, 'Hi, brother from the past. By the way, do you know that days will come in which you, forsaking that earthly cover, will become a flyer just like me and will be able to ascend to heaven?' And the caterpillar answered him, 'Yes, that is what my parents taught me and what my grandparents taught them. They said, there is another life after this one, where we can free ourselves from the earthly chains and win descent to a new dimension, but I don't believe so, and although during my days and nights I think I am working towards something, my imagination stops in this plain, where I love the beating of the sap and the throbbing of the leaves caressing my feet.' Then the butterfly flapped her wings and flying upward disappeared. Several days passed by, which seemed like years to the caterpillar, and then he realized that the end was near, and he walked towards an outbound pine branch. One evening, at sunset, he built up his hill grave, laying down, waiting for the arrival of death. In time, the spring of its birth as a butterfly arrived, and then she expanded her wings. And swift as an arrow she melted with the air, fluttering for the first time towards the morning sun. And while flying, the butterfly saw a timidly caterpillar that was climbing with difficulty the ahuehuetle tree trunk, and standing before it said, "Hi, brother from the past. By the way, do you know that days will come? To evolve means to change, and change is life. To die to the past is to live. Renunciation is progress. What we sow in the present, we reap in the future. Let us see the noble qualities in our lives today." Nightmares. How great are your temples, your squares and palaces to land, named for the capital cities of two pre-Columbian Mesoamerican empires. But bigger than that is the silence of your fears, their throb, their warm and caressing air, like a mother's breath. This is the way Quetzalcoatl was addressing his brothers, when someone with staggering steps, such was the level of alcohol in his body that even his spirit was trying to leave it, approached the group, and all spread apart, leaving him alone. Quetzalcoatl approached him and bringing him to the middle said, "Why do you deny warmth to whom needs it the most? Do you believe that he drank for a different thing other than to forget the coldness of life? Then now do you forsake him because there has been weakness in him, because he has wanted to dream awake trying to part from his destiny's path?" And staring at him said, "Brother, don't allow the coldness of life to defeat you. Later you will be life itself. Don't let nightmares defeat you, because they pass away. And don't you forget that also copper, when hammered, twists and screams, protests and cries. But later on, once molded, it turns into a beautiful and admirable object, turning to praise the hard blows it cursed before. So go to your house, meditate over this matter, and don't drink anymore. Life's blows will also make a vows out of you, from which someday light may be taken. Situations and circumstances are ephemeral, temporary, but the understanding of other people's circumstances requires a superior vision, one of love. Compassionate viewers, we appreciate your kind presence for today's words of wisdom.